earrings with the snapback, match that with the Air Maxes or the backpack. Jersey been on, my nigga, I'm bringing rap back. That's that shit right there, my nigga, so past that. Network with strap cats who clap cats and back smack mothers with the crackbacks. I'm working on my ass cap. Shorty ass fat, but she ain't gotta make her ass clap as long as it could go up and down like the NASDAQ. I'm G's. Coolin', but I'm rocking with the genius though. And fuck.
Where we at right now, Rudy?
Peace. We're at Kelly Soul Food on Camino Park Avenue, Camino Park Monticello, specifically here in Jersey City, New Jersey. Thanks to Brother Dwayne for giving us the permission in order to record over here in this establishment. And yes, this is a black-owned business here in Jersey City, New Jersey. So whenever you're in the Jersey City area, definitely stop by and patronize them. They have very salubrious and tasty soul food.
All right, for sure, for sure. All right, now, yo, we came off a wild night last night. You know what I'm saying? Some shit happened that rocked the whole entire globe. It seemed like.
Well, believe it or not, and you called me last night. Honestly, they had a wild night. I was resting well. That's the reason why I'm wide awake and vibrant at this point.
I dig that.
But certainly, yes, with Donald Trump being the president-elect of the United States, this is something certainly historical, something very bizarre, something surprising for a lot of people, not for me. And something very idiosyncratic as it relates to American history, specifically with the political process.
Why do you find it to not be surprising to you?
The reason why it's not surprising is due to the fact that you have a lot of Americans who are very exasperated and irritated with the governmental apparatus. Of course, you have the xenophobic and the bigoted element who was resentful at the fact that there was an African-American president, but that's not even the only focus right there, because a lot of people are against Obama who aren't necessarily racist specifically within the white population. And then again, you have black people who are exasperated and irritated with Obama's policies as well. So you have a large aggregate, or should I say various aggregates of people who are ready for a change in order to, quote, make America great again, which is relative depending on one's interpretation of the concept of greatness. Whether one looks at it from a political standpoint, if one looks at it from an economical standpoint, if one looks at it from an environmental standpoint, or if one is a bigot and looks at it from a racialist or segregationist standpoint. It's just that with the vague conceptualization and branded like that, it's easy to get a whole lot of people. And with Trump being the business person that he is, with the acumen, with the shrewdness, and also with the marketing capabilities that he has, it's not surprising that he's the president-elect of the United States, at least for me. With me studying Donald Trump, because honestly, I've been studying Donald Trump for 10 years. I have his book, The Art of the Deal, The Art of the Comeback, Think Like a Billionaire, How to Get Rich. And also, I was a fan of The Apprentice during the first season. Shout out to Omarosa.
Okay.
Right.
I'm not particularly familiar with the series, or Omarosa specifically, but in following Trump, I always respected his business acumen until he started running for president. And certain things started getting out there, like the fortunateness behind his, just some of his business practices, which I guess in capitalist America, a lot of times the most successful businessmen are just good at, creating farces and illusions of wealth in order to promote themselves forward. So maybe he's just falling in line with regular business practices. I haven't read those books, I don't know.
Right, as a business person, you have your profits, you have your losses, you have your good days, you have your bad days. Just like in the stock market, you have your bull markets and you have your bear markets. So,
but you gotta always look like you're winning though.
Certainly, especially if you have a brand that's aspirational and luxurious like Donald Trump. So you always had to have the perception of victoriousness so that people could gravitate to you, especially if you're licensing your name to different buildings with different parts of the country and also different parts of the world.
Right. Those things have lasting effects on,
exactly.
I mean, people our age and our generation will forever see Donald Trump as larger than life just because of that. Yeah, for as much, I mean, even for the people that think he's scum off of how he's run for president,
undeniably,
like, it's even that much more amplified, like the hate towards him because of how big that name is.
Exactly. Especially for people that have been to the Trump casinos or the Trump Taj Mahal.
Yeah, in every casino I've been to so far, which isn't that many, but nevertheless, definitely in Jersey and in Las Vegas.
Undeniably, yes,
you know
sir.
What I mean, so all right, that's interesting. Yeah, it was a wild night, but I can understand how that could be predicted that people, America was ready for a change. All right, well, let's move on. Yes, more into Baruti Libre Kafele.
Yes,
You know what I'm
sir.
saying? I know you've been undercover working about, not undercover, but you've been a little off the scene. You know what I mean?
Exactly,
Like
isolated a
typically
bit.
you're out there, you know, marketing your paraphernalia, the Libre Brand.
Yes, sir.
You know, your various companies, you know, your real estate companies, your
Yes, sir. Definitely.
you know, clothing printing and et cetera, et cetera. You know, but you've been you taking a little hiatus lately,
Yes.
especially from the social media. What is that about? Why did you do that?
Yes, I took a hiatus during the summertime because I was working on the first draft of my manuscript, a book that I have coming out called Black Wealth Matters. I'm contemplating on changing the name, but I think I'm going to keep it because I'm noticing a lot of people using that slogan because ever since the Black Lives Matter movement, everything matters all of a sudden.
Yeah.
So I'm going to keep that, but things have flown pretty well with that. But the irony behind it is, with me working on the book, I started to receive inspiration about different topics or different subtopics within the book that I wanted to expound on for other books or other future literatures that I plan on publishing or getting published eventually. So that's what has been going on with me. Just me writing my book, me writing articles,
Yes, please.
me living life, me getting myself together personally, me evolving intellectually, me evolving physically, so on and so forth. Peace and blessings, that's everything. So it was in essence a time for me to just isolate myself so that I could grow to become a better contributor to the economy and to society.
Okay, I dig that.
Yes,
So,
sir.
you know, where does this drive come from? Cause you from the hood, you from where I'm from. You from Jersey City.
Yeah,
you know,
definitely
and
down the street.
you know, I've been, you like me have probably been to other towns or whatever along the East Coast or even throughout the country where,
Right.
you know, some cities seem a little more pro-black than others, whereas Jersey
Definitely.
City is kind of, I don't see Jersey City as that.
As
Like,
far as
it's,
the
you
black
know, it's the
community,
hood for
it's
real.
straight
like,
ghetto as far as
yeah,
the black
straight
community.
straight slums. So it's like how'd you even get that drive? I mean, you know, just let the people know about your background. You know.
Oh, undeniably. Thank you for asking that question too. And it
yeah.
goes into some of my perspectives from my studies.
No
A
doubt.
lot of the time, people talk about things like white privilege, but this is what I think right here. One of the biggest and one of the most meritorious privileges that one could have, whether it's based off genetical chance, randomness, or if one is religious, divine intervention, however you look at the world. Honestly, one of the hugest or biggest privileges that one could have is to grow up in the quality household, specifically a two-parent household. It's statistically proven that only 8% of two-parent households are impoverished in America, while 33% of single-parent households are impoverished in America. And in the white community, within white single-parent households, the poverty rate is 22%. So that tells you that a black person born in a household with two parents, whether it's in the ghetto, the suburbs, or wherever, has a higher probability of not living in poverty compared to a white single-parent household. So in saying all of this, I would have to say growing up in the two-parent household where luckily my parents embraced consciousness a few years before I was born, that definitely helped within my socialization and my development as a person.
Right.
Even growing up in Jersey City. But don't get me wrong, I did internalize a lot of the ghettoized behavior within Jersey City. That's unfortunately or fortunately
inevitable.
a part of me, depending on how one looks at it. But I would have to say growing up within the household definitely brought about that equilibrium within myself mentally and also within my life, within the various interactions.
Okay, so you could say that your parents. It's safe to say that your parents made you conscious to an extent, though, because that could only go but so far.
Yeah, that could go but so far.
At some point, the bird has to leave the nest.
Oh yeah, undeniably.
So what even carried you? I mean, I can't picture you coming out of, you know, high school. You said you went to Ferris. You went to Ferris High School.
Oh,
All right. So I can't see you coming out of Ferris with the Brave Brand mindset.
Oh,
I
no.
mean,
But it was always there, though. It was always there.
It was something that you just had to foster.
Exactly. This is the fact of the matter.
Okay.
Growing up in that household definitely gave the balance, but don't get me wrong, I wasn't a pristine and immaculate, or should I say an unadulterated person. I did pick up a lot of things growing up in Jersey City, but I was able to avoid a lot of the cracks, whether we talk about juvenile detention, whether we talk about, or juvenile delinquency, whether we talk about gang criminality. But don't get me wrong, there were times in which that almost happened, in which I almost became a part, or you could say that I almost joined, should I say, an organization indulged in criminality, or should I say a gang involved in criminality, because a lot of gangs I've noticed aren't organized, especially in the black community. A lot of us like organization anyway, whether we talk about Main Street, Wall Street, the black market, or the stock market.
Yeah, real talk.
Right, but the reality is, of course, within Jersey City, I've experienced negativity along with positivity, but I was always able to stay true to myself, and I've always had the mindset of ambition. I always had an entrepreneurial mindset. I've always read periodically, not as much as I read it now, but believe it or not, I've read Donald Trump books back when I was younger, even in the midst of a lot of this stuff.
Right, definitely.
Because that was around the time in which The Apprentice was broadcasted.
Right, so of course, but that's interesting, that because some people will see The Apprentice and just take it in as entertainment, but you took it in and said, man, this dude is successful. I want to learn how to get to where, or what people do to get to where he's at.
Exactly.
You know, that's deep.
Certainly so. Certainly so.
And you know, that's deep, almost on the level of your of the logo of your company, Libre Brand. I mean, how can you explain some of the meaning? You probably get this all the time, but it's just so fly. You feel me? Like,
appreciate that a lot, brother.
Can you explain the meaning of the logo?
Oh, undeniably.
And the name and everything.
Undeniably, Libre Brand is a brand of freedom. It's a brand of liberty. It's a brand of liberation.
Freedom of Flyness, 2012.
Exactly. The slogan is Freedom of Flyness, and that ironically was founded in 2012, and 2012 was interpreted as the year of the apocalypse.
True talk.
The year of the beginning of the end, the year of the destruction of the world. So a lot of conspiracy theorists, a lot of religious fanatics, and also a lot of naive folks thought that 2012 was going to be the end because of the correlation with the Mayan calendar or other frivolous theories that people ascertained or came up with. But the fact of the matter was that the Libre Brand was founded in 2012, and as far as with the logo symbolizes freedom. And as you can see, there are broken shackles on the logo, and the broken shackles could symbolize negative thoughts. It could symbolize pessimism. It could symbolize big government. It could symbolize the penitentiary. It could symbolize anything that hinders, stops you, stifles, or impedes you from progressing and flying to reach your destination. And
what about that pendant? The
pendant is Kepara, which symbolizes the rise of the sun, and symbolically, the sun symbolizes knowledge. It symbolizes wisdom. It symbolizes higher consciousness. And in order for one to become free, they need to be aware of their condition that they don't want to stay in.
Right.
So the fact of the matter is, that's the reason why I chose Kepara, which symbolizes the rise of the sun. In the ancient Kemetic or Egyptian language, depending on which era you study, Re, R-E, means sun. Within the Medu Neter, the ancient Egyptian language. So if you put Re and born together, that means you're reborn. You're born again. And how you're born again? Through the ascertaining and the accumulation of knowledge of your condition and of you wanting the better things of life, and that's through freedom.
Yeah, I don't know. I definitely, because you need power to be free, and knowledge is power for sure.
Oh, undeniably. Yes, sir.
So how does, I mean, I don't think anybody can look at you and see that you're not a scholar, you know what I'm saying, or miss that. I mean, describe your road to scholarship for some of the people that might be looking at this and might not understand or be quick to dismiss anything you like to say just because they don't know about your background or whatnot.
Okay, my accomplishments on the educational level, you saying?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Well, yes, the accomplishments, they're very limited, but I accomplished a few things during the limited time. Obviously, I graduated from Ferris High School, graduated as an average student because I didn't take education seriously at that time, or institutional education seriously at that time. Ferris High School, a public school down the street. Then from there, I went to Kane University, graduated with magna cum laude honors, majored in political science, minor in sociology, minor in Africana studies, and also I graduated with honors with from the Phi Kappa Phi Honor Society, Lambda Theta Alpha Honor Society, the Alpha Kappa Delta Honor Society, the Anka Ma'at Waju Honor Society, so various honor societies.
Alright.
And also there's one or two more, but I just can't recollect the names at the moment.
Right, yeah, it's not a short list, I got you.
Right. But I'm not done with the institutional educational experience. It's just that at the moment I just want to focus on writing my books, syndicating my information, and seeing what I could do from there as far as with developing the black community.
Didn't you study in Egypt?
Oh, yes. I studied at the American University in Cairo, Egypt as well.
Wow.
I studied over there. That was definitely a humbling and transformative experience, I have to say.
Yeah. I'm going to say, people need to know that because yo, we from the hood for real. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
we from a place where people don't even have knowledge of self,
Exactly.
let alone knowledge of Egypt. You know what I'm saying? Like, or what's going on the African continent in general. And for you to come from, you know, the boulevard in Jersey City and to be educated over there in Egypt around the pyramids and the Sphinx and all of that, I'm sure it was life changing.
Yes, totally different experience.
How would you say that changed your life? In what ways? You know, it's I don't know, in the most generalized topical ways. Like,
the reason why I changed my life is because I was able to see the contributions and accomplishments of people within the antiquities, especially with building these megalithic structures over there in ancient Egypt, and also interacting with people in different walks of life who are somewhat similar to you, even though they're thousands of miles away on the other side of the globe. So it certainly was humbling at that.
So let me ask you this.
Yes, sir.
How does a scholar like yourself get into fashion? What does that transition look like? What is that about?
Well, yes, I've always been interested in fashion. Always had an interest in fashion.
I mean, and more specifically, a fashion that's recognized by hip hop.
Right. Well, I've always been interested in fashion. I've always been a fan of hip hop, and I embraced hip hop heavily during high school. A lot of my friends were rappers over there in high school. At Ferris High School, a lot of battles were going. Honestly, I think that between 2004 and 2008, I think that the best rappers in the city were at Ferris, in my opinion. Ferris was a hip hop school, believe it or not.
Okay.
From my perspective, so a part of that socialization was there. I've always been interested in fashion, growing up in Jersey City, growing up in a materialistic-oriented environment. So I've always had somewhat of an interest in apparel, and apparel was an efficient and also an affordable means to be an entrepreneur compared to starting other businesses. So I decided to take the risk with that. There's challenges there, don't get me wrong, there are undeniably challenges in the fashion industry, but I decided to take that initiative on.
Okay. Those challenges being, you're talking about, I mean, I can imagine there's challenges with any industry that you're trying to break into, but especially one that seems to be so wrapped up by Europeans, if you will. You know what I'm saying? Or at least as it seems on the face value.
I wouldn't even look at it in that way, but I'm sure that other people may have experienced that, but I wouldn't look at it in that way. It's mainly meeting the continuous demands of the consumer, because as you know, within the fashion business, what's considered to be hot today may not be hot tomorrow.
True.
At the blink of an eye. So it's about continuously meeting those demands, making sure that production is on time, so that you could meet those demands and receive remuneration and profit from that. And also making sure that there aren't any production issues, because if there are production issues, you may have to take that L for that season. You may have to wait for the following season or the season after that, especially if you planned on producing apparel for the next couple of seasons.
Yeah. No, it seems like a very fickle industry.
Undeniably.
Yeah, I mean, the only industry where it seems like even your success could be your failure.
Oh, certainly so. Because you can make profits today, but then lose all of them tomorrow. I've been there. And you can have losses today and then profit tomorrow. So with the fashion business, it's a very, very tricky business. But if one were to do it correctly, one could certainly prosper in it. But it's about having that mindset of ambition, of attitude, of purpose, and perseverance, which is most important.
Okay. So with you doing the fashion industry, participating in the fashion industry, I mean, that makes you a businessman. I mean, you have your own company named after you, because Libre is your middle name, am I right?
Yeah, Baruti Libre, that's what I go by.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Baruti Libre Kafele.
Right, okay. So it's like, named after you, made in your image or somewhat.
Certainly.
How do you balance the education and being such a scholar, and how do you balance that with the business side of things, with the hustle?
Exactly. Well, I'm working towards that now, and how I do that is I make sure that I'm one with the brand. Meaning that I cannot talk about freedom and liberation and I'm being politically correct, or I'm worried about what other people are thinking based on their perception. I got to be me. Because if I'm talking about freedom, if I'm Baruti Libre, which means a teacher of freedom, then I need to teach freedom whether people like it or not. And if people don't like it, they're therapists that they could go to, a psychiatrist.
All right, no doubt. we already talked about the obstacles you've gone through. You know, what are some of your keys of life that you would give? Some of the game that you might, one or two jewels that you might give to these youngins out here, like keys to life, you know?
Okay, simply. All right. Get an education, whether that's graduated from high school or graduated from a trade school. Get a job or become an entrepreneur, have a means of generating income. And also, don't become pregnant or don't impregnate anyone until you can afford it. So,
good advice.
those are the 3 ideals.
I dig. Last one, toss up. Who's some of your favorites? Who's your favorite scholar? Who's somebody that might be in the limelight that you admire? You might model yourself after.
Who's my favorite scholar?
Or whose books you read, you find yourself reading the most, or you gravitating towards the most.
That's a challenging one right there.
Because you seem well versed in a lot of different philosophies and teachings.
Right. Thanks a lot. I appreciate that. it. As far as with scholarship, honestly, I can't even name one off the top of my head. I could possibly name numerous people, but as far as historical figures, I could name historical figures, but scholars I can't name off the top of my head because there's so many.
Okay.
There's so many who are so influential, but as far as with historical figures, I would have to say people like Booker T. Washington and Marcus Garvey. I would have to say Malcolm X, Frederick Douglass, and also 2 more, Ida B. Wells and Madam C.J. Walker, the first self-made female millionaire in this country.
Damn.
A black woman at that.
A black woman at that. And the first black millionaire as well. Was she?
I wouldn't say the first black millionaire, but she probably was. But
okay, but
I don't think so.
Okay, understood. I hear you.
Right, I really don't. I think so, because there were a lot of successful blacks in this country before Madam C.J. Walker came into the scene.
Okay.
But if we want to adjust this to the rate of inflation, then it depends.
Yeah, I got you.
Right.
Duly noted. All right, cool.
Yes,
last question. Why don't you give some of your a few of your favorite hip hop artists, signed and unsigned?
Signed and unsigned?
Yeah,
Okay.
signed and unsigned.
Okay, you already know Bishop Grady, Black Fox News editor-in-chief.
Oh yeah, you already know.
Yeah.
Niggas better recognize. They gonna learn though. They gonna learn.
Oh yeah, certainly. Also, I would like to shout out Khalil Gibran in North Newark.
Salute to Khalil, definitely.
Exactly. Now, when you say best, you're talking lyrically, or you're talking as far as the whole package? What I enjoy listening to.
I'm talking about your favorites.
Okay.
Favorites.
Oh, okay. Easy. Fora, shout out to you over there in Southern California.
Okay.
I would have to say Coogee Rap. Coogee Rap is definitely underrated, undeniably. Lyrically a monster. I would have to give it to Tupac as well.
For sure.
I would have to give it to Nas Escobar. I would have to give it to my boy Kamu Sabali. Happy birthday. Today's November the 9th, 2016.
Okay.
He's out of Newark as well, Newark City Star.
Out of Newark, alright. Salute to the home.
Exactly. Much respect. And that's all that I could think of right now. I'm sure that there are more, but my apologies.
Right. No. Off the cuff is like it's how you know.
Right.
How
I'm feeling
at
the moment, what I'm listening to.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's raw. It's uncut.
Exactly.
Well, Baruti, you know what I mean? We thank you for this time with sitting down with us.
Hey, I thank you all for coming through to support.
Yeah, no doubt. You know what I mean? The Black Fox News audience. You know what I mean? You know, we up in the hundreds now, you know what I'm saying? But we definitely appreciate the look, you know what I mean? And bestowing us with the wisdom and knowledge and just the gloss that comes with it. Where do they find your product, or where do they learn more about you?
Oh yes, thank you. www.librebrand.com. LIBREBRAND.com. And also for content, literature, and also for more apparel, you could go to my personal website, www.barutilibre.com, because I also publish 2 articles a week. Sometimes I publish them on my platform, or they get published on other platforms like beinglibertarian.com, where I'm a contributor now.
I saw that too. That's what's up.
Certainly.
All right, cool. Signing out, man. Be easy.
Salute. Peace and blessings, everyone.
I'm reaping sowings and say no to all the greedy hoes. I'm trying to do it B.I.G. and be unbelievable. And if you seeing me, then I ain't where I need to be. Mentality is greenery and I don't even need to leave. I'm talking about that guap, man. You could call me guap, man. Spit it so hot, fam, Satan to say goddamn. Rap's a sport, so I compete in back and forths. I'm speeding through life, though I ain't beat for traffic court. Even Facebook wants a freedom, homie, that's a thought. Ain't nothing in this world free, homie, that's a course. So while these fakers think they ballin' like it's basketball, I'm on the grind till my casket call like a mash of off. Except I'm black and get more focused than Adderalls and party like it's Independence Day, even past the 4th. So pass the 5th for him, let's get it in with women friends that's feminine and intimate.